Welcome back guys to another YouTube video. What we're doing today is a Python GUI app, and what this app does is, let me show you. I click on it and we get our app, and we click on browser, and right now we have full access with our file explorer. And what we can do is we just go to desktop right here. I want to open this app, click on it, click open. Now you can see the directory of that file. And you know what, this works with multiple files, so let's look for another one. We'll go to downloads, and yeah, I'm gonna open this file right here. So I open this file right here too, and all I need to do is just click on run, and you see they open simultaneously. And that's the cool thing about this app. You could make them 10 and they will all open simultaneously if you need that to happen. So yeah, that's the video we're doing today. And another cool stuff is that when we actually cancel it, we get this file right here that actually saves it. So whenever we open this GUI again, we have these two files that we just browsed on and ran. We have them right here, and we don't need to do the same thing we did earlier. So this is a nice automation exercise and an automation app for you to have, especially if you just wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what, I need to start opening like 3 or 4 apps. With this, you have them already stored. All you need to do is open the GUI app and you click on run. Enough talking, let's get started. Yeah, so the first thing we need to do is we need to import, I don't know how to spell this, is it Tinker or Tkinter? Yeah, Tkinter, and we'll say as TK for short. And after that we'll say from Tkinter import file dialog and also text. And I'll let you know, and we'll talk about what all these things are for, so we know what we're doing here. The next thing we'll do is we'll import OS. After that, what we need to do next is we're gonna use root, and we'll set that equal to tk dot capital TK, and after that what we need to do next is we need to actually also create the loop that's gonna run this. So we say root dot main loop, and the loop is small letter. Root dot main loop, and yeah, we have this. So right now if I save this and we run it, it tells me that TK is not, because this is supposed to be short there. So now if I save it again and we run it, yeah, we can see our small board right there. You can see it very small right here. I know I just want to explain some brief modules that we're going to use here, so nothing is going to look too confusing or too foreign, so we actually understand the idea behind everything we're doing right here. Tkinter is a standard Python interface to the TK GUI toolkit. The next thing we're using is file dialog, and this is intended for opening and saving of files, and we'll need to do that later on in the tutorial, so that's why we're using it. And text is just for displaying text on the canvas or the frame. We're also going to use OS, and OS is just a module in Python that provides functions for interacting with the operating system. And we'll need to interact with the operating system because after we have our files and our executable files, we want to actually be able to run them by the click of a button. It doesn't matter how many executable files we have there, we want to be able to run all of them. In the GUI setup, to initialize Tkinter, we have to create a TK root widget, which is a window with a little bar and other decorations provided by the window manager. The root widget has to be created before any other widget, and there can only be one root widget. Now while we have this root.main loop, the window won't appear until we enter the Tkinter event loop, and our script will remain in the event loop until we close the window. Yep, so you can see our small GUI, but we need to style it and make it look actually better than this because this looks really ugly. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to create a canvas. So I'm gonna give it all capital canvas, and we set it equal to tk dot canvas with a capital C. And then root. And set the height. I'm setting my height to 600. You feel free to set your height to whatever you want it to be. And my width is going to be the same thing. 600. And the BG, and that stands for, yeah, you guessed it right, background. Our BG is going to be this code right here, 263D62. And after that, we need to call canvas and say .pack. If not, it's not going to work. And this .pack, you're going to get used to it because we're going to use it a lot. And yep, you can see our nice bluish canvas right here, looking all nice and blue. Yep, just gonna cancel it. But you know what? I want to put a frame on top of this so it looks better. And the way we do that is we just say, we give it a name of frame. And we set that equal to tk dot frame with it capital F, just like canvas. I know what, this frame too, I'm gonna make it all capital. I say the same thing here. We start the same way, root, and then BG, set the background. And the background color for this is going to be slightly different. It's 2D, and all this, style it the way you want it to look. You can style it the way I'm doing it, but you can also style it your way. 4:2. And after that, we'll say frame with all capital, dot place. So now we're telling it what place on our canvas is going to be on. So I'll say and this is short for relative width. Rel width is equal to 0.9. Rel height is equal to 0.8. And depending on how big your canvas is, because I want it to be in the middle. Because right now, if I save it and run it, yeah, so we can see right here that this way it took it, and this is the color we're using, this greenish color right here, but it's not in the middle, and I want it to be on the middle. So the way we put it on the middle is I ran it way too much. Yeah, finally. So the way we put it on in the middle is, we'll say relative x, and I'm gonna set that to 0.05, and also relative y, and I'll set that to also 0.05. Save it again, and now paste, we run it, and you can see it's in the middle. It's looking all nice. Now the next thing I want us to do is I want us to actually add some buttons, because it's looking real boring without buttons that we can actually click on. And the way we do that is I'm going to create a button, and I'll call it browser. Set it equal to tk dot button with a capital B. And there is a reason I'm saying capital B, because sometimes we forget that, and then you could have a bug and be wondering why your code is not working. So just trying to be as clear as I can be. And here I'll put browser. After that, we'll add some padding X. Set that to 10. and then padding Y, set that to 5, and then FG, set it to white. That's the writing. Set that to white. The name of the button. And now the background, BG. And for the background, I'm gonna give it a... It's gonna be 196, capital E, 63. And after that, I'm also gonna give it a border of none because I really don't like borders on buttons. I feel they make them look old and just, they don't look nice. But you can always, if you're a border person, leave yours. And if I run it now, we won't see anything. And that's why this .pack is very important, is because we need to say browser .pack. And now we save it. And now we can see our button right there, browser, looking all nice without borders. Next thing, we need to create another button because this is gonna browse. Now to make the second button, we just copy this because what's the point of writing this all over again? And I'm gonna give it a name of run. I'll put run here too. And as the name, I'll put run app. I'll put run app as the name. The padding X is gonna be 9. And yep, that's it. Now I save it, run it, and we have our buttons here. Looking all nice, and yeah, I like the whole design of it. Now if you click on this button, nothing happens, so we want to change that now. Let's make something happen. And the way we do that is we need to create a function. And the function, I'm gonna put it just right below this root right here. The function, I'm gonna call it def browse files. So browse files, and browse files is gonna have a file name because what we want it to do here is we want it to actually, when we click on it, that it opens our file explorer so we can browse the files in there. So we say file name. So we say file name, set it equal to filedialog.ask ask open file. Ask open file name, and then inside here we'll say initial dir, set that equal to this right here, and then we'll say title, set it equal to select file, and don't worry, this is not that much. Hope you're not feeling, oh, what's happening here. This is just for us to open the files. And after that, I'm just gonna, we'll say file type. File types is equal to, say all files, and this should be in quotes. Say all files and another quote. We'll put the star here, and then a comma, and then a star again. And now we do the same thing, but this is going to be executables. And we do the same thing. I'll put the star, and then we say .exe. So that's the thing. We'll have the option to choose all files, or if we only want to see executable files, then we'll choose this option here, executable. Now if we save this and run it, you can see right here, we click it. Oh, nothing happens. Why? We need to call our function. That's like, you create a function without calling it, it's basically useless. And the way we call the function is we say command, and you make sure you put a comma right here. Command equal to, then we paste the name of our function right there. And that's it. Save it, run it again, and we click on it, and voila, we got our file explorer. And you can see we have, it starts at all files, and then we have executable. So you can choose both. You can choose all files, or you can choose executable if you only want to see executable files. Like if you click on this header right here, you won't see anything. But if you go to the desktop, you'll see stuff because the desktop has executable files. And when we click on those files, nothing gets saved on our frame. So we need to make it happen that actually when we click on them, they get saved. And the way we do that is we need to come right here and we'll create a array. We'll call it apps. We'll create an array and call it apps. And after this apps array, what we're going to do next is we'll say apps.append, and we'll say file name, and then we'll say print file name. So right now if we save this, click, and then we browse, click on executable, go to our desktop and click here. What we're seeing is that now it's printing the file location, and that's what we just did right here. We said apps.append file name, and then we print file name. So that's good. And what I want to do here is I want to switch these, and I just want to show you that you can do it that way too. So I'm gonna put a comma here and paste that and just erase this instead of actually being on. So now if you click on it, you see it's on executable. Before it was on all files. So that's how you switch that. So depending on what you want, you can switch it like that. So now you can see now that we get our file location, but it's not shown on our frame. So the way we do that is we'll create a label, and the way to create a label is we'll say for app in apps, and we say label is equal to tk dot capital L label, and then we say the location, we want it on our frame, we want it to be a text app, and the text is gonna be the app, this right here, and also the background, and the background color is gonna be this code here, 263D89, and after that we'll say label.pack. Now we save it, click on it, it's an executable, we'll go to our desktop, click on this YouTube right here. Frame is not defined because the frame was with a capital. So you see they're all capitals right here. My bad. Just change it. Cancel this. So now we run it again, and it should work this time. Click on it and voila, you can see right now we have our app location right here. And we can add some more. Go to desktop. Well, okay, let me go to C drive. Can't really find all my executable files anymore. Yeah, I hope you didn't see the torrent that's there. But yeah, you can see right now that when I add a new one, the old one gets added to it. So that's the thing. We need to be able to erase the last one, and so it's actually because now we have 3 and we only added 2. And the way we do that is we'll say for widget in frame dot win in win for dot win for children. Yeah. And then we say widget dot destroy. So this way we'll remove the last one so it's not doubling like that anymore. Save it, run it again, go to desktop, I'll just go to downloads, next desktop, and you can see now it actually does it the right way, so we're not adding extra. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to create a function that's actually going to run the files that we have on our frame. And the way we do that is we need to create a function, create another function, and this function I'm going to call it run app. So say def run apps, and for this function what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a for loop and say for app in apps. So I'm going to iterate over this list because this is where all our file directories, this is where all the files are. And then we'll use the os.start file because that's why we're using this OS library to actually start the files that we have here. Now we use os.start file and we put the files we want to start, which is app. And after that we just come here, copy this. The same thing, we'll say command I'll paste this here. Now we run it again. And go to the desktop, YouTube, and then we say click on run app, and you can see the YouTube shows up right here. You see how fast it is. So now we know that's working. The next thing I'm gonna add is just some extra seasoning and all that. But what I'm gonna add here is if we want to save this so that we don't have to keep on browsing all the time, but we can save it in a file, and whenever we open it, that file is going to be ready for us to just click on this run. That's what we're going to do next. And the way we do that is we come over here and we'll say with open, then we'll say the name of the file that is going to hold all this. Now what we're going to put right here is the name of the file. We'll call it saved apps .txt because that's the file type. After that we use this W, this is for write. Then we'll say as saved. And then what we do next is we say for app in apps, save dot write, so we're transferring it, apps. So this is us basically writing on the file right here. Write the name of the file, the location of the file, and you can see we're using this apps right here. This is the same location we printed right here, file name. So we say apps, and you can see that we actually iterated and put file name. We appended file names into apps, and now we're iterating through apps. So this app right here is each file location in this apps. Hope that makes sense. I know I'm saying a lot of apps, but yeah, hopefully it made sense. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Like the vid, just had to get that shameless plug off the way. But yeah, subscribe to the channel too. Join the community, join the team right here, and yeah. So now that's about it. And if I save it and run it again, click browse, then we go to desktop again, YouTube. Oh, I want to add two. Gonna go to downloads, Microsoft Office. Now if I cancel this, not apps but app, that was the bug there. Save it again, run it, desktop, browse again, go to downloads, so now if I cancel it and we check our directory, we can see here we have saved apps.txt, and if you click on it, you can see the file location for the apps that we have. You can see it there. We have another. So now we know that that is working. But the only thing with that is that we have a little bug if we leave it like this, because if for some reason, number one, we can see that when we click on it, we don't see anything. So we need to actually make sure that it shows up. And the way we make sure that it shows up is that we need to iterate again. So we'll say for app and apps, and we use the label is equal to tk dot capital label, capital L in label, and frame, then text equal to app, and then we say label dot pack. Yeah, now so to remove the extra comma that shows up when we don't save something, because right now if I click right here and I save, we go to desktop again and I save YouTube, and maybe for some reason I click browse and then I change my mind and cancel, you can see that we still get an extra comma that shows up. And you can see right here we have double commas, so let's remove that. And the way we do that is we'll say if os.path dot is file and the file is this right here, so I'm just gonna copy it because I don't want to write that again. And after that we'll say with open and then we want it it to read, so that's why I put R and not W for write, as read as saved. Then we'll have this temp apps is equal to saved dot read. This is not team apps. Temporary app. Temp apps is equal to temp apps dot split. I would say apps is equal to x for x in temp apps if then x dot strip. Now you can see that it shows up. So right now we have the temporary app and it's actually showing us, it reads it and it shows up. And if we add another one, but if I cancel it, and I cancel it right here, we check out temporary app. Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete this and do it again. So we'll go to the desktop, save this. But what happens is when I add a new one, you can see that gets removed because it checks to see if we have a double and then it removes it. So that's what we just did right there, and you can see we don't have a double when I added a new one. You can see we don't have a double quote comma when I add a new one. So we can see that's working now. And just to show you it's really working, if I click on it again, we have both, and I click on run apps, you can see both are trying to run. So they both are running, cancel them. Yeah, we see both are running. Yep, so that's it. We've done this right now. We can see we can run as many apps as you want, and you can save them so you don't have to always browse. You can have the apps that you want to always be run, and then if you have some extra apps you want to add and run at the same time, you add them. So yeah, it's a really nice way to actually understand Python GUI using Tkinter or Tkinter or yeah, Tkinter. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up and I'll see you in the next YouTube video.